Greetings and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel. I'm your host, Lael Rockwell, for the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel. And this is the Corner Definitive Take. Again, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you're always up to date as to what we got going on over here on the channel, so you can get this. You can get the fireworks in the background when we actually want to bring them. Definitely thank you for being here. And I decided that, you know what, since we're in the road tonight, we're going to do another definitive take. This one itself is on none other than Venom. Now, we just got the comic accurate version of Venom in not too long ago. You know, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, it is a definitive take. It is one of those issues where, you know, again, it's another Venom. But I think this particular Venom speaks volumes, because this is a comic book accurate version of Venom. Now, this was one that was just released a week ago, but we have a whole assortment of Venoms, and it took almost 2 movies, now 3 movies, just to get to this particular point, plus a VGM video game. So we're going to talk about that tonight. But before we do, of course, we got to pay homage, as we always do, to where we actually get these pieces from and we get these figures from. But before we even do that, we got to also talk about the Halloween initiative. I know you're getting tired of hearing it, but it ends this week. This is August. It started from August 26th and ends on October 25th, my birthday. Again, this is the Halloween initiative to make sure that we pay it forward to kids who cannot afford to get costumes, candy, or anything like that within the neighborhood. So we want to supply it to them. So many super chats that you actually donate goes towards such a worthy cause. And even if you don't donate here, go out to your community, donate costumes, candy for those who definitely need it. Okay. So that's something that we definitely want to talk about, right? It just deserves to be talked about. But since we're definitely on a roll here, I want to actually also talk about where you can actually get your figures from, as we always do. Okay, so we're talking about none other than Underground Figures. When we're talking about Underground Figures, my man Ray over there at Underground Figures, make sure that you get your figures in a timely manner, no NRD, full shipping. You know, his shipping and handling is definitely reasonable. On top of that, sign up for that newsletter to make sure that you are always up to date as to when your figure is coming. Head on over there, let Ray know I sent you, and he'll definitely take care of you, as he always does. Also going to give a shout out to my man Ray over there at Hawk Wars Toys. Again, Hawk Wars, Ray, proud sponsor currently right now of the Figure Flex Fridays. You know what it is, Fallout. So that's definitely going on over there. Get your figure from him. Not only do you get a figure, you get a comic book sticker to boot. He always makes sure that you are taken care of with the latest and greatest. So head on over there, tell Ray I sent you, and your boy got you. Also want to talk about my man Jacob over there, Comic Relief, Comic Collectibles. If you were looking for it, he got it. He'll definitely take care of you, as he always does, because he is true blue, that dude. So definitely do so when you can. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. This is basically what we do. Let's see here. Also want to give a shout out to my man, my homie Brian Wong over there at Module Case, Module Space. If you are looking for an incredible display, make sure that you actually head on over there, and he'll take care of you with the mono, everything that you actually need. Hope I did talk about your boy Jacob, because your boy Jacob over there, Comic Relief, Comic Collectibles, gives you everything what you need to. I'm kind of lost because I'm just kind of doing 2 things at once. But let's kind of hone it in. Let's have this conversation. Let's talk about what we're going to talk about tonight. Now, again, wanted to kind of pop on in here because, again, it just deserves a conversation. Now, listen, we got tons of Venoms. We got a whole plethora of Venoms. I know what you're wondering. What is the definitive version of that Venom figure? Consider the simple fact that we've gotten 2 movies, a third on the way, which will release this Friday. I'm going to go check it out. And then you got the comic book interpretation. Now, here's the thing. They've released so many, from Cos Babies to, you know, Power Pose figures. I'm focusing majorly on the cinematic universe, the comic book universe, as well as the video game. So we're going to focus on those here today for the sake of time. So this is what we're going to definitely do. So what I want to do is start with the first. Now, this was the granddaddy of them all. So this was the one that everybody wanted. And this is actually the one that I have in hand right now. I'm talking about Venom from the first Venom film. Now, again, an amazing piece. If you have it in your collection, you already know the tendrils, everything that you actually get with this piece, you know, it rocks. It's everything. The only thing that we didn't get from this particular or get with this piece at the time was the head sculpt. You know, we didn't actually get that. So, but we did end up getting that Tom Hardy head sculpt later on. So you already know what it is, man. This looks good. It definitely looks good, and it still holds up in my collection. The only thing is, we were all wondering when down the line, when were we going to get that Spider-Man logo? When were we going to get that logo across his chest? That infamous the popularity surrounding that emblem was so popular in the comics at the time. And I remember the first time we saw the symbiote suit was Spidey. And that's because his suit was damaged. He managed to get a black suit. And this was during the earlier Secret Wars event that took place in the comics itself, before he freed himself from the suit itself. And it went and sought out Eddie Brock. So again, this is the version of Venom who at the time was an anti-hero. Now he's almost damn near a full-fledged hero in the comics. So did want to put that out there. Had a couple scuffles with Spider-Man, but made up for it. Even though, like I said, he is sort of like an anti-hero. I think he's more of a full-fledged hero. But this piece was definitely phenomenal. One that I had to have in my collection that I managed to definitely get. Shout out to my man, Ray, over there at Underground Figures, who supplied this figure when I needed it. So I just want to definitely give him a super duper shout out. So it did come with a boatload of tendrils. This thing was a beast to have in your collection along with the display. So again, when we look at this piece, definitely dope. But what we call this the definitive piece? Definitive figure? Nah, maybe not, because there's a lot to go off here. And we're going to talk about that in just a second, because again, it wasn't just this one that we got, because when Venom 2 was released, Let There Be Carnage, we got a different iteration. It was the same figure, but what they gave us was the head sculpt of Eddie Brock with this. So you had to know, basically, it was the head sculpt that kind of exposed side profile of Eddie Brock. So we did get this particular version, okay? Let There Be Carnage. Of course, it comes with the weapon, but you can also get this head sculpt with it. Now, when they released this figure, it was two options. Either you get a whole different figure, or, which they were smart by doing, it was giving us Carnage. When you got Carnage, you managed to get this particular head sculpt. So that's what I did. I got Carnage, so I had this head sculpt. I didn't have to purchase a brand new figure. The only thing that came with this that was worth noting was the weapon he had in his hand, and I really didn't need that. I wouldn't have used it. It would have been a waste of space. I wasn't going to get a secondary Venom just to get this head sculpt. So luckily enough, I was able to get it through Carnage. It's a decent looking piece, but it's a rehash. It's what we got. So that's why we're not going to spend too much time on this particular piece, right? We don't have to. You've already seen it. It might have come with just different array of tendrils, but it's the same thing technically, just an added head sculpt. Not going to spend too much time on that. But moving on though, we got the Spider-Man 2 video game that released a couple years back, about a year ago, right? So we got the Spider-Man 2 video game that we were super duper hype about. Boomer. Super duper hype about. And we were even more excited because we knew that in that video game, they were going to give us none other than Venom. Now, we got the black suit Spider-Man from this that had the symbiote suit, but then we also got Venom in here. Now, this figure is yet to be released, but it is a beast of a figure. This figure is huge. It towers both Miles and Peter. Look how big that is. 53 centimeters. Beastly. So my choice was to say, I didn't know whether or not I was going to get this in my collection. I still may not. I don't know. But I have it on pre-order right now. So I do still have it ordered. but this is a beast of a figure. It is huge, one that you'll definitely have in your collection. Even if, and somebody did basically say in the chat not too long ago, hey, you can just substitute this version to actually battle Carnage if you wanted to, because Carnage was also almost 53 centimeters big figure when it really didn't need to be. But again, this is the VGM version of the game. Looks good, comes with the Spider-Man emblem on his front to back, and you get the tendrils. The head sculpt is on point, the eyes are on point. This is the closest to comic accurate that we were going to ever get with this piece. So we thought. Hot Toys decided to top it, say, yo, we're releasing a comic book line, so hold our beer. Before you basically come out and say, hey, we're gonna, nah, we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. That's not gonna be the whole thing. That ain't what happening. We ain't doing that. We're releasing our own comic book line, and we're gonna give you what y'all fools been looking for. We've been crying about it. They decided to finally give it to us. This is none other than Venom right here. You already know this is the comic book accurate version. Now, a lot of people would say it's not comic book accurate. I'm not here to basically have that argument, because to me, you can't base the interpretation that you see on pages to something that's tangible in hand. They have to do it this way because, again, it's the animated version, not the animated version, but more so it animates the suit. It lets you know that this is a symbiote version. It's not going to be smooth. And on top of that, accuracy is up to the artist interpretation. Even in the comic books, not every version of Venom was always accurate to the other, what came or its predecessor. There's always different interpretations. You have to look at it that way. That's all I'm going to basically say on that. This, to me, is the Venom that I've been looking for. Finally, they give us the one with the emblem, comic book accurate head sculpt, the tongue itself. You get the emblem front to back. You get the tendrils as well. Now, some may say they're just using a retooled Venom body from the cinematic universe. I do not care. I do not care. They're giving us something that we wanted. They're giving me definitely something that I've wanted, that I've been asking for the longest time. So at this point, I can care less what they do with this film. Even if they introduce him with the emblem, I don't care. This one right here is the comic book accurate definitive version that I'm looking for. Yes, I'm telling y'all that right now. This, to me, is the definitive version of Carnage, because it is everything that you're going to need. On top of that, it does match well with any MCU figure that you have in your collection. So this makes me, you don't have to worry about saying, okay, what? No, it's going to look good. It will look good next to Spidey, Tom Holland Spidey, any version that you actually see in our collection, it will definitely look good. So I'm just telling you right off the rip, this right here, to me, is the definitive version on all platforms for all particular reasons, because again, look how it looks. Even the base itself, I would go on the line and say that base is just as phenomenal. The base looks good. You know, a lot of people I know are going to say, well, you know, no, the base looks good. And you have to match the suit with the base. So again, look, people can have their argument about what they deem more accurate, but I think it's a lost cause, because again, there's going to be different interpretations. So just look at it for what it is. To me, it's the definitive option. So glad to have it in my collection. I will have it in my collection. I will be pre-ordering this piece. It's already pre-ordered, to tell you the truth. Cannot wait for it. Once it's released, this will be my definitive version. That's why, again, if they release a version from the film, I'm going to pass on it. I have the one that I want. I have the one that I've been searching for. I'm good to go. Fresh in, knee deep in this. Let's go. My definitive take says this is the definitive version of Venom, just to let y'all know. So I'm super duper excited about this. But again, let me know what you think. What is your definitive choice? What is going to be your definitive version of Venom? It may not be mine. Yours may be totally different. Yours may be the video game adaptation. Yours may be the cinematic adaptation. For me, it's going to be this version. It's the comic book version of Venom. I'm so excited about it. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification so you are always up to date as to what videos we are dropping. I am Leo Rockwell for the 1/6 Scale Man YouTube channel. Tune in tomorrow night on another episode of Say What Wednesday. Again, until there, I am your host. Until then, I'm your host. Saying I'm signing out, getting out of here. I'm going to take a nap, give me some sleep. You guys have a nice night. Peace.